All right, so ready to peek into the future.
I think we're past peaking. It's practically here.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's getting close and it's moving fast. Like, picture this. Your coffee's running low, but
But a new bag is already at your door.
exactly. Or, like, your car just books itself in for a service.
Before you even know there's a problem.
Right. Sounds a little sci-fi, but this is what Zen is talking about, right?
Yeah, their article, The Internet of Agents, a world where APIs shape our digital future. It's a
mouthful, but it's pretty much spot on.
They're saying software agents are gonna, well,
Take care of everything.
not just that, not just reacting, more like anticipating what we need.
Like predicting the future and just doing it.
In a way, yeah. And what's really wild is the speed. We're not talking about waiting for downloads or anything.
It's just instant.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Instant, interconnected. It's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, so like, are we talking chatbots, but like way smarter?
Think of it more like, well, they are agents acting on our behalf.
So what's the magic behind all this? How's it all working so fast?
APIs. Well, think of them like the glue. Or the
Get connectors.
yeah, the threads connecting everything in this whole digital world. They let your fridge talk to the grocery app or your
Car talk to the power grid.
Exactly. Your personal agent is just orchestrating everything behind the scenes, all through APIs.
So APIs are like the universal language.
You got it. They break down the barriers. All these different systems can share information, give instructions. No more,
No more fighting to make things work together.
Exactly. That's what makes this Internet of Agents, actually possible.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So we've got these superpowered agents running around powered by APIs, making our lives super efficient. But what does this look like day to day?
Well, the article, it points to three main areas. First, interoperability. Meaning, think about how annoying it is when your phone and your TV don't work together.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right. Well, in an API-driven world, that's gone. Your smart home, your car, your bank account, everything just talks.
So no more juggling a million different apps.
You got it. And that leads to the second impact, which is personalization.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Because APIs can, they can see all this data about our preferences, how we behave, even our mood. So the level of, personalized service, it gets pretty crazy.
Okay, how crazy are we talking? Like personalized ads? Something much bigger.
Think bigger. Your digital agent could adjust your house based on your biometrics,
Nice.
biometrics, heart rate and all that, or curate your news feed, or
suggest like things for me to do.
Yeah, creative projects based on how you're feeling. It's personalization on a whole other level.
Okay, that is both amazing and a little creepy, but it does make you think. Like if our digital agents are doing all the boring stuff,
yeah, what are we doing?
What would be doing?
Exactly. Well, that brings us to the third impact: automation. Think of
robots doing our laundry.
Well, not quite. More like all those little tasks. Scheduling, bills, emails, it's all taken care of.
So we're all becoming like, what was it, Jarvis from Iron Man?
Yeah. The article uses that analogy, that super capable AI assistant managing everything.
So we're all Tony Stark now,
Yeah.
minus the cool suit.
Yeah.
But, what happens when we're not doing any of that stuff?
That's the question, isn't it? When those everyday tasks just happen instantly, what do we do with all that extra time? It's a good question. When things are that fast, we're not limited by,
By time.
Or effort. It's all about, what matters? Creativity, relationships, exploring.
Okay, this future's starting to sound less like a nightmare and more like, I don't know.
A utopia.
Yeah, like a productivity utopia. But there's got to be some downsides, right?
Of course. Any powerful tech, there's always a
dark side.
Yeah, you could say that. One big one is the ethics of it all.
Like giving all this power to these agents.
It's a good point. Who's really in charge when your agent decides to, redecorate your living room?
Because it thinks it knows better.
Yeah.
Yikes. So how do we make sure they don't, go rogue?
That's where it gets tricky. We need to figure out, boundaries, guidelines, control mechanisms.
Make sure they're working for us, not the other way around.
Exactly. And that's something we'll dig into a lot more in the next part of our deep dive. So, coming back to that idea of control, let's talk about this API first development. It's like the foundation of this whole agent driven world.
Okay, but break that down for me. API first. What does that even mean?
It's a whole different way of thinking, really. Like before, we'd build something and then figure out how to connect it, right?
Right.
But now it's all about APIs right from the start. It's like designing a city, with a perfect grid system.
So everything's connected, easy to get around?
Yeah, exactly. It's like building with Legos. Everything just fits.
Okay, I like that analogy. So how does this API-first approach play into all this hyper-efficiency we've been talking about?
Okay, so imagine you're building let's say, a travel app.
Careful.
In an API-first world, you don't have to, build every single feature. You need flight data. Boom, plug into the airline's API, hotel bookings, connect to their API.
So it's like building a super app out of all these other apps.
Pretty much. And here's where it gets even more interesting. It creates this whole API economy.
Okay, now you're talking my language, money. How does an API economy even work?
So let's say a company makes this amazing AI algorithm, right, for language processing. Instead of keeping it secret, they make an API. Other companies can use it.
For a price.
Right. So it's like selling your tech superpowers,
Code as a commodity. Interesting.
It is. And it means everyone's collaborating, innovating faster. Companies focus on what they're good at and then just use each other's APIs to fill in the gaps.
So it's like this global brain trust, everyone making each other smarter, faster.
Exactly. And that means we can solve problems way quicker because you can tap into this network of APIs.
So we're talking about exponential growth in innovation.
Yeah, pretty much. But let's zoom out a bit. How does all this, feel for the average person? This whole agent-driven world. It's like, well, imagine never having to worry about the little things. Your commute is optimized, groceries ordered, bills paid. It all just happens.
Sounds amazing, but doesn't it get a little, sterile? Like we're not really living our lives anymore?
That's a good point. The key is the tech has to enhance our lives, not run them.
So it's about using it the right way.
Right. Being mindful of, information overload, staying connected to real people, finding a balance between efficiency and, living.
So it's not just about offloading tasks. It's about using this technology to create a better life.
That's it. It's about getting our time back, our attention, not handing it over to algorithms. And that's why all that stuff about ethics we talked about is so important. We have to shape this future, not just let it happen.
Right, so we've talked about the how, the why, the what. But the big question is, are we actually ready for all this?
That's the million-dollar question. And it's something we'll get into more in the last part of our deep dive. Because, this future has a lot of potential, but it's also, it's a big change. And we have to decide what we want it to look like.
Back again, still diving deep. We've been talking all about, APIs and agents and how they're going to,
change everything.
Yeah, pretty much. And I got to say, it's exciting, but also a little...
Scary.
Yeah, a little bit. But what's really got me thinking is this whole time thing.
Oh, yeah. It's like in this new world, waiting basically doesn't exist anymore.
Right. We're so used to measuring everything in minutes, hours. What happens when that's just gone?
Think about it. A surgeon operating remotely with real-time data, AI assisting.
Or like designing a building.
Yeah, changing something and seeing it happen in the model instantly.
No more back and forth, no more wait. It's like teleportation.
Yeah.
But for tasks, for information.
That's a good way to put it. And it changes how we work together, how we create. Everything's faster, more connected.
But there's got to be a limit, right? We can't just be constantly bombarded with information.
That's true. That's one of the biggest challenges, information overload. When everything's happening in real time, it's easy to get, overwhelmed.
So how do we deal with that?
We need smarter filters, systems that prioritize, that learn what's important to us.
So the agents have to understand us, not just, throw everything at us at once.
Exactly. It's got to be about, enhancing our lives, not taking over.
Right. Control, balance, all that stuff we've been talking about.
It all comes back to that, yeah.
So I guess this brings us back to the big question. Are we really ready for this whole new world?
I don't know if anyone can really be ready. It's such a huge shift. But we can at least try to, understand it, prepare for it.
By talking about it, debating it, figuring out the rules, the ethics.
Yeah, all of that. It's not just about the technology. It's about what we do with it, what kind of future we want to build.
And that's on all of us, right? To decide what that looks like.
Exactly. It's not just about, passively accepting what's coming. We have a say in this.
Well, this has been Intense.
Uh-huh.
But a good kind of intense. I feel like I've learned a lot.
Me too.
Sure.
It's fascinating to think about, even if it's a little scary sometimes.
Definitely. And that's what these deep dives are all about, right? Exploring the big ideas, the big changes.
Yep.
So to everyone listening, thanks for coming along for the ride. Stay curious. Keep asking those tough questions. And we'll catch you on the next deep dive.